Hello my friends, today I will show you how to take this photo over here. Now this is a great photo for beginners because it does not take a lot of lights, no backgrounds, no fancy props, and you can totally do this with just window light. We need only one light source. So let's see how we do this. The first thing we need is obviously the egg. Now one tip I can give you is to always hard boil your eggs before you photograph them. Accidents do happen, they will roll off the table, and it's a lot easier to clean a boiled egg than a uncooked egg. So the things that we'll need for this, let's set it up. I will need a foam board. I will be using a black foam board. If you do not have foam board, you can use a black paper, a black tablecloth, or anything that is black. We just need black. Matte will be the best if you have something that is matte. And then what we need is a couple of pages of cardstock. Now I stole this from my kids' drawer, so don't tell them. So you could do the same. Go through your kids' stuff, find some cardstock, and we need 2 pages of it. Now, when I'm looking at the colors here, I want to take some colors that are complementary. That means the opposite of each other. And my egg, it's a brown egg, so it has some sort of an orange tone. So I will be using an orange paper. Let's see, I'll be using, well, my orange paper has a scratch in it, and I only have 1 piece, but we'll try to work with that. So I'll use orange, and then I will be using blue, because orange and blue are complementary colors, right? On the color wheel, they are the opposite. So let me find my blue. I find some really bright blue. There you go. This one will do. So I'm using orange and blue. Now, this was the only orange page that was there, and it is ripped, but we'll try to work with it. So we'll have orange and blue. Now, let's go set it up and see how can we make that composition. I'm going to have to move this camera closer so you can see. So I will do that. I'll move you over, and we'll focus on the table. So let's see. Something like that. All right, great. So the idea here is that we'll create an optical illusion. I will set this blue one straight, make sure I have a very straight line over here, or as straight as I can get it. So that is good. And then this one, I am going to set it something like this. I want to make sure these corners, they meet perfectly. And that way it looks like it's on a piece of furniture or something. Does it look right? Let's see. That is pretty good. I'm gonna move this just a little bit. Something like this. Make sure my corners are meeting perfectly. Something like that. And something like that looks all right. Now, in order to make my egg stand and not roll off the table, I'll be using these tiny little rings. These are the kind of rings you buy to put on your keys, on your keychain. So I bought this one, came in a pack of many. I'll place that one right there. And then I will take my egg and try to place it right. Oops, you see, it's rolling off. It wants to take off and disappear. I'm gonna try to place this right on the corner. This will help a little bit disguising if my corner is not perfect. And that looks good. Now we will try to set our composition. And I'm looking down angle to the egg. Let's see. And now that I arrange my composition, make sure that this line over here, the blue line, is straight up and down. And the egg is looking good. I'm going to focus right here on the closest part from me on the egg. I'm going to focus right here. And the only light I will use is this light with a softbox, just a large light. I'm going to get it as close as possible. I'm going to turn it on. And I'll take the power to 116. Let's see what we get with that. I don't think it fired. I did not have the trigger on. Let's see now. That is not bad. We need a little bit more power here. So let's see. I will increase it to 1.8. Better. Maybe I'll put a little bounce card over here. So let's see. That should soften the shadow a little bit. So I will do that in here. Let's take another shot. And that is too much bounce. I'll move this backwards. Much better. Maybe I even want to try to angle this egg so it looks like it's going to fall off, like it's tipping the other side. Let's make sure we're on focus. Let's take a shot. The only thing I want to change is I want to get a little bit more black on the top. So I'll just move my camera lower and angle it more that way. Let's see now. And that is pretty good. I'm happy with that. I'll take a couple of more shots just to make sure that everything looks good, and I have choices when I go to my computer to edit them. But everything is looking great. Here is our image in Lightroom, and I already did some basic adjustments. I didn't want you to sit through this. I want to make this as short as possible. So as you can see, I increased the exposure a little bit, added some contrast, decreased the highlights, increased the shadows a little bit, added a little bit of sharpening. Nothing too big. But now I want to take this image into Photoshop, and I want to fix this line where the two boards meet. Also, my ring was a little bit too big. I used to have a tiny one, and then you would not see it from under the egg. But this one was a little bit too big, so we can see it, and we need to fix that. To send this image into Photoshop, I'm going to do Command E, and this will send it into Photoshop. Now we are in Photoshop, and the first thing I want to do is duplicate my layer, Command J, and now we duplicate it. Let's take care of this line over here. I would use this polygonal lasso tool over here. And the way I will do this, let me zoom in a little bit so I can see what I'm doing. I am going to make a selection. So I'm going to go just above this white line, something like that. And then I'm gonna come just on the edge of this blue. And then with this selection active, I'll go to Edit, Fill, and I'll do a Content Aware Fill. See how, Photoshop does with this, because if it works, this will make my life a lot easier. Command D to get rid of the marching ants, and it actually did a really good job. Now we have some problems here where the orange is. So let's take care of that. I will use the same polygonal tool, and this time I'll make a selection. Let's see, I'll go straight on the line of this blue. Something like this. And let's see, to here. Now we have a selection. And what I will do, I will use the clone stamp tool. And I make sure my brush is soft. I'll put hardness as 0. And now I will take a sample from above my selection. And with this soft edge, I'm just going to paint into my selection. And it doesn't matter how far I would go, it would only paint inside my selection, so it will not affect the blue. So with this selection over there, let's see. Command D to see how we did. And it's not bad. I still need to adjust a little bit in here. I can just do it free-handed at this point. Oops, that was not good. Let's see. So now I'm gonna zoom in at 100% and just kind of free-handed. I'm going to take a sample right from nearby, make my brush smaller, and just kind of blend it in. All right, not bad. I'm gonna fix this spot over here. And then I have some things going on here under the egg. Just going to clone away just to camouflage it. There you go. It's not perfect, but should do. Command 0 to fit to screen, and I can still see it a little bit in here. The spot is brighter, so I'm just gonna do one brush there, make my brush smaller, my clone stamp tool, and just kind of do a little bit more work. Command 0, and that is looking better. Now I do have here, we're missing this corner, so still with the clone stamp tool, I'm going to make it larger. Take a sample and extend. There you go. And that is looking good. Command 0 to fit to screen. Now the only thing I want to do is I want to sharpen this a little bit. My egg is sharp, but you know, I want it a little bit sharper. So I'll do Command Option Shift E to make a stamp layer. And now I will go to Filter, Other, High Pass. And here for my resolution of my camera, 3.2 seems to work pretty good most of the time. And I will change the blending mode to overlay. And now if I zoom in, hold down Z, click 100, this is how sharp our egg is looking. After sharpening, this was before, after, before, after. I can see a little spot over there. Just take the spot healing brush, put it on a new layer. I can fix these little spots over here, and now we have a perfect looking egg. Command 0 to fit to screen. And this is how, let's see where we start. This is our before, and this is after. Before and after. This is how I would edit this image. I hope this was helpful and you learned something new. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Skylar Ewing. I'll see you in my next video.